Hey, how's it going? Neil Howe back again for my 30 days of videos, and here we are in day number 19 now. Now, what I wanted to talk to you about is your pricing. How often do you think about your pricing, and what is your pricing strategy? Pricing is extremely important in business because it affects everything else that we do. And I want to, there's a circle that affects everything. Hey, Alex and Amanda. But the circle goes, it starts with price, and then it leads to profit, and then it leads to power. That's a lot of likes, Amanda. Then it leads to prosperity. So those are our four things, and they go in a circle like this. And basically, it all starts with pricing. So whatever you price your product or your service at is going to determine everything else in your business. It's going to give you, once you have this whole circle of the price, profit, power, and prosperity, it's going to give you control and the choice to do what you want to do in your market. Now, when we talk about price, price can be, or people don't really put a great deal of thought and effort into price other than what are my competitors charging? Do I want to be, at the top end or the bottom end? Well, I can tell you right now, unless you're a Walmart or a Target or some big box store that can sell massive amounts of product or service in bulk, then there's absolutely no point whatsoever in being the low price leader. To try and compete with those kind of companies is just insane. They're always going to undercut you because they have far more power to buy in bulk and to buy cheaper than you ever could. I remember personally when my dad owned a store back home in Scotland in Aviemore. One of these big groceries companies came to town, Tesco, and basically were selling stuff cheaper than he could buy it for. So when you're trying to compete on price, you're always going to be put out of business by somebody who's going to try and undercut you, some bigger company. So that leaves you two things. You don't want to be in the middle, because if you're in the middle, nobody cares. You're still going to go out of business because nobody really cares who you are. They're not going to go to you because you're in the middle. But you've got to change something in your business. And it's all about how you're positioned and how you position your product and service. So if you want to be on the upper end of the market and attract a higher clientele, a more affluent clientele, then you got to do something. You got to step up, and you got to do something that your competitors aren't doing to stand out in the marketplace. Hey, Shireen, thanks for watching all the way from South Africa. So you have to do something different if you want to position yourself better to stand out. Only then are you going to be able to attract a higher class, more affluent market that is going to be able to pay a higher price. So when you price, you want to be priced. If you can't do it on the low end, and there's too many people in your market, you need to find what you can do to differentiate yourself from everybody else and start charging on the high end. That's the only way it works out. Hey Ali, what's going on? So price affects profit. Obviously, the more you can charge for your service, the more money that you're going to make. So the more money that you make, the more power that you're going to have in the marketplace. But if you're making higher profit margins on everything that you're doing, and you're selling something at $1, say if you're in a grocery store, you're selling something at $1, but you can all of a sudden now, because you changed the branding and the positioning and everything of your store, you're charging $2 for the same thing. Well, you've just increased your profit by 100%. So, if you can increase your profit like that, it's going to give you far more power in the marketplace. Now, as far as power, we're going around our circle here. Price, profit, power. The more profit you make in your business, the more power you have to do things. Well, first of all, the more money that you have to pay your staff, that they're going to increase their attitude. They're going to give you better performance. They're going to, want to stick around if you give them incentives and stuff like that. That all helps to retain customers. The better the customer experience, the more chance that those customers are going to come back. And you don't get great customer experience when you have a staff that doesn't care. So the more profit you have in the business, the more that you can pay and compensate your staff for doing a great job for you. At the same time, when it comes to marketing, the more money that you can pay to acquire a new customer. Now, there's a saying that goes, whoever can afford to pay the most to acquire a new customer wins. So if you can pay more than everybody else in your market to acquire a new customer, then you're going to get all the customers. It's a simple equation. It's mathematics. So if you have higher profit than everybody else, then you're going to be able to acquire more customers. So the more power that you have, the more you're going to do in your business. You're going to be able to brand yourself better. You're going to be able to pay for marketing and advertising, and you're going to draw so much more attention that just snowballs as you go. And of course, that all leads to what we all want, is prosperity. And prosperity is really defined as how much can you take out of your business without, causing a problem. And if you make $250,000 a year, can you take out 125 of that and live off that for your lifestyle? Or if you make 250,000 a year, can you only take out 25? That's not power, that's not prosperity right there. So it all revolves around price and being priced right so that you can still attract the right customers. You don't want to attract the low-end customers that are trying to find a bargain everywhere. You want to attract the people with money who want an experience, even if it's just a personal experience with the staff. I go to places like Trader Joe's is great as far as grocery stores go. Always a great personal experience. Publix, Chick-fil-A are also renowned for a personal experience when you go there. And that's what you need to look for in your business. So we got price, we got profit, we got power, and it all leads to prosperity. And it all starts with price. And the one way that you can increase price that is more valuable than anything else that you can do is increase your positioning in the market. You increase your personal branding and your place in the market. Hey Chris, signing on from the UK. Good to see you again. So that is the message for the day. Think about price. People don't put a lot of thought into it. They just kind of price whatever is, they maybe do some research, the 10 businesses around them on the first page of Google. They'll see what they're pricing and they'll do something in the middle. That's it. And they'll leave those prices stagnant for about 2 years. You might be charging $30 for something and somebody could be willing to pay $300 for it. You never know unless you test. So get out there, test some pricing, and if you want to increase your positioning, don't forget to go to neilhowe.co and do our quick survey. Sign up for your authority interview so we can position you in the marketplace as that authority and a leader. And until tomorrow, thanks for watching, and we'll catch you again tomorrow.